Welcome back. On this edition of Healthy OC, we'll be talking about a new tool for doctors to help rejuvenate skin, especially for patients who have suffered skin damage from radiation treatments. Welcome board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Ashton Katie. We're glad to have you with us, doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's talk first of all about you brought this magic in a box right here. What is marula oil?
Marula oil is actually an oil that's extracted from the fruit or the nut of the fruit of marula tree, which is native to eastern and southern part of Africa. It was actually introduced to marula oil through a wonderful couple, Katie and Philip Leakey, who have ties to the famous Louis Leakey, who did a lot of early man studies in Kenya.
Right.
And they basically had seen a lot of the local African women apply this to their skin as a moisturizer and also to promote better healing.
Mm-hmm.
And they approached me in 2009 saying, would you look at this oil? It has a lot of, healing benefits to it. It's called the miracle oil in Africa. And so I was compelled to take a look. They're doing a wonderful job in terms of a lot of the women's initiatives. So there was a lot of good cause behind it as well.
So bringing it here to the United States, have there been clinical studies on it, or where does it stand?
Marula oil, the first thing I wanted to do is see what is the intrinsic properties of marula oil. So we did an analysis of the oil, and we found that it has really unique combination of fatty acids that allows it to penetrate the skin very quickly. It doesn't leave any kind of oily residue on the skin. It also traps in moisture, so the hydration factor is really excellent.
Right.
It also has tremendous amount of anti-inflammatory and antioxidant levels, and it really fight free radicals. So it's very soothing to the skin. For patients who have clinical trauma, such as radiated breast cancer patients, which is a category of patients that I see in my practice, it has a lot of applications and benefits.
Okay, so there hasn't actually been any clinical trials. This is sort of anecdotal evidence that you've seen.
No, I actually did a clinical trial on 24 patients in my office setting where we took patients with breast cancer who also needed radiation as part of their cancer treatments. We divided them into two groups, and we used an aloe-based moisturizer on one and marula oil on the second category. Mm-hmm. The marula oil category did far better. There was less redness, there was less swelling. It was very soothing to the skin, and the turnaround time in terms of healing of the skin was much more rapid with the use of the marula.
We do have a few pictures so folks can get a little bit better idea of where the marula comes from. And this is a lovely shot right here. Where is this in Africa?
This is in Africa. These are harvested in eastern part of the Africa. The fruit itself is about the size of a golf ball, but it has 4 times the amount of vitamin C as a grapefruit.
And do they eat it?
They eat it there. The locals eat it. It's tremendous in terms of its antioxidant potency.
Okay.
What you can see there, there are different ways of harvesting the oil. And basically what happens in a lot of the different company processing, they take the nut and they crush it and they extract the oil from the nut and then basically chemically treat to remove the impurities from the oil.
Okay.
What other companies like the Leakey Collection are doing, they're actually taking, it's a very eco-sustainable type of a way of harvesting the oil. They actually only pick fruits that have fallen down, and then they hand crack the nut and only pick the lightest kernels inside the nut that has the highest level of the antioxidants and use that to process the oil. So it's very pure, and that pure form is what really medically has a lot of benefits to it.
Interesting.
You can see that these are the Maasai tribes that go around picking fruits that have fallen down. There is no farming involved. It's a wild harvest type of a collection of the fruits. And the processing is done by these women, and a lot of the proceeds goes back to these communities to educate them and provide medical care for them.
Proceeds from the purchase of this here in the U.S.?
From the oil in the U.S.
Okay, and where can we find it?
It's currently available online at marula.com.
Okay.
It's also available at Fred Segal. It's available on several online retailers.
Okay, and so you really have seen a difference. As a plastic surgeon, you are recommending this to your patients?
I would recommend this for patients with post-radiation changes. This is wonderful. It's also what I would consider a medical grade hydration moisturizer.
And general burns, let's just say.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Sunburned skin. In fact, last summer, and I should know better, but I had a sunburned skin and I couldn't sleep because it was burning so much. And I applied this to my shoulder areas, and within minutes, it was feeling so much better and more soothing and comfortable.
Well, doctor, we really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, and we'll hear a lot more about marula in the next interview.
I'm sure we will. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.